Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. First tonight, the Premier has unveiled his new cabinet. In a major shake-up, Jeremy Rockcliffe will become Health Minister, with Sarah Courtney taking on Education. But it's Peter Gutwins' endorsement of an embattled candidate throughout the election that's continuing to haunt him.
Just weeks ago, he was walking the campaign trail, but today Adam Brooks walked into a Queensland court. The former Liberal MP and returned candidate facing firearm and fraud charges, the matter adjourned. Scheduled to return on June 10. It's a scandal that plagued the Premier throughout his election campaign.
Mr Brooks was a very good representative for the people of Braddon. And I believe that he could have been a very good representative for the people of Braddon again. Unfortunately, that is not the case.
Hoping to shift attention with the unveiling of his cabinet, this is his new team of ministers. Peter Gutwin remaining Treasurer, Jackie Petrusma has been brought back into the fold, and most surprisingly, after 7 years in the role, Jeremy Rockcliffe will no longer be Education Minister, the portfolio going to Sarah Courtney, and the Deputy Premier taking Health. That's despite Peter Gutwin praising her handling of the coronavirus crisis.
Sarah Courtney, after leading Tasmania successfully through the COVID pandemic in the health portfolio, will become the Education Minister.
It's a great opportunity for Ms Courtney to pick up the education portfolio. What she'll need to fight for, though, is those additional resources for education.
Jeremy Rockcliffe was Shadow Health Minister prior to 2014, but he's avoided the role since the Liberals came to government. When asked last week whether he was looking for a change,
or something else.
In many ways, handing health to a minister is giving them the poison chalice to drink from.
But the sector is ready to embrace him.
We do have a very experienced minister, someone that we really desperately need in that portfolio to address the crisis that we've now got in our public health system.
Our only concern is that he has a few other portfolios, and between health and mental health, that's more than enough for one minister.
While newcomer Madeleine Ogilvie missed out completely.
As Premier, I make the decisions in terms of the ministries. And in terms of the ministries that I've outlined today, I believe that the right people are in the right place now at the right time.
Housing passed from Roger Yench to Michael Ferguson, tied in with the construction portfolio.
The issue here is that housing is about people. It's critical social infrastructure, but ultimately it's all about people and improving the lives of Tasmanians.
And Mark Shelton lost his ministries, instead nominated for Speaker of the House. The ministers will be sworn in here at Government House tomorrow morning, while Parliament won't resume now until the end of June. Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
The lawyer defending accused killer Jack Sadler has implored the jury in the murder trial to each reach their own verdict and not follow the majority. The trial has now entered its final phase, with both sides offering the court wildly different versions of the night in question.
The end to Jake Anderson Bretner's life was as undignified as it was gruesome. Shot at point blank, dismembered and scattered in garbage bins around Launceston. But just who killed him? In the eyes of the prosecution, it was the 29-year-old in the dock. Their case is that the murder was motivated by the victim's 6-figure drug debt and given the blueprint through the lyrics of a violent rap song.
Just throw the bags away in various trash bins in different areas.
The major things that occurred are consistent with this song, the prosecution told the court. But in closing statements today, the defence again reiterated its argument that it was a Victorian drug dealer that shot the 24-year-old after a meeting in Jack Sadler's home went south. Why would you kill someone who owed you a lot of money? The reality is, none of this makes any sense. The court heard a majority of DNA found on the gun belonged to Sadler, though the remaining fingerprints couldn't be identified. Somebody had their DNA on the hand grip and trigger, and that in itself should be enough for an acquittal, Sadler's lawyer told the jury. However, the defence conceded that Jack Sadler is guilty of being an accessory to murder after the fact for his role in disposing of the victim's body. And if the jury finds him not guilty of murder, they should consider the lesser charge. The jury is expected to begin deliberations tomorrow. Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
A protester has been arrested at a blockade on a forestry site in the Tarkine. The Bob Brown Foundation says it has 300 activists running the blockade for nearly 5 months. The organisation claims 30 police officers were involved in the confrontation. Activists say they won't be deterred by the arrest. Consultation has begun for a new $35 million sporting precinct in one of Tasmania's fastest growing regions. Located at Bayview Secondary College, the Clarence Plains development will include indoor sports courts, a gym, 2 ovals and a ground for public use. Once complete, the project will help address a significant lack of sporting facilities in the rapidly growing area.
The growth of the school over the last 5-6 years, we've actually doubled in size, so we're over 400 students now, so certainly the need and demand for some state-of-the-art facilities, it'll just be absolutely amazing.
With the growth of population, we definitely need to provide more facilities for sport and recreation and give the young kids in the community the opportunity to be involved.
The development is expected to take several years to complete. A radio show host who spreads science knowledge to thousands of people each week is among a winner in the Tasmanian Volunteer Awards. The night's main gong, though, went to a dance school instructor who heavily promotes inclusion.
An impromptu salsa could be seen as something of a victory dance for our Tasmanian Volunteer of the Year. Nikki Van Dyke's Salsa Dance Society tapped into what the judges were looking for.
In everything that I organised, I tried to create a really inclusive and welcoming space for everyone.
Which for Nikki means having a special focus on gender diversity and those with English as a second language.
We don't talk about ladies and guys in partner dancing, but we talk about leaders and followers, and everyone can learn how to lead and follow.
The result has been boosting the Society's numbers to more than 300, while another winner goes out to 10,000 listeners each week, hosting radio show That's What I Call Science.
We also talked about things like composting or cider making, or we talked about different types of animals. We did a lot of animal and natural sciences episodes.
Medical scientist Neve Chapman even prepared 10 weeks worth of content during the pandemic shutdown to keep the show on air. But she made a point of avoiding being bogged down with COVID chatter.
Getting that science fixed, but not fixating on what was on all of our minds.
I heard yesterday that over 60% of the Australians volunteer. I think that's really amazing, and there's so much unpaid work that's going on behind the scene that's often not recognised.
Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmanian News.
Tasmania's peak motoring body is once again calling for legislation to be changed to better protect roadside assist workers. RACT says its staff are currently at risk when helping customers on the side of the road. It says it should be mandatory for drivers to slow down to 40 kilometres an hour when passing roadside assist vans and tow trucks.
We're also making it safer for the customer, the person who's broken down on the side of the road. And it can be a very perilous situation on the side of the road.
The state government is currently reviewing the laws.
To Premier League hockey now, Angus Bolton remains the league's leading goal scorer after lifting his tally to 11 during Derwent's 6-1 rolling of defending champion Northwest Grads. Teammate Paul Anker is hot on his heels, having scored 7 this season, but a little friendly competition seems to be working well for the pair.
Paul's extremely experienced, played many years of top-level hockey, both in Australia, Europe, and also for Tassie in the Tassie Tigers. So having him in the team is really beneficial for me in my game.
In other matches, University beat Diamondbacks 3-2. In the women's, Northwest Grads overcame Derwent 2-1 and Diamondbacks beat Uni 4-0.
Good evening. 18 degrees today in Hobart. 16 degrees was the top for Launceston, Burnie and Devonport. Tasmania had a top temperature of 19 degrees today at Bushy Park, 18 for Campania. St Helens hit 17, as did Grove, 16 for Cressy, Wynyard, Fingal and King Island, with 13 degrees at Strahan. Cloudy conditions about the west and Bass Strait today on the satellite, clear elsewhere. Further out, an onshore flow pushes low cloud over southeastern regions and up through northeastern Queensland. WA experiencing consistent cloud cover, the remainder clear. Tomorrow shows a northwesterly stream over Tasmania with a cold front approaching from the west. A ridge of high pressure lies over southeastern parts of the mainland, a trough over WA. Northwesterly winds tomorrow 15 to 25 knots, 20 to 30 about the southwest. Increasing about the west, the south and the upper east later, with seas between 1 and 3 metres higher through the southwest. There's a gale warning current for southwestern coastal waters, a strong wind warning for remaining southern and western coastal waters, including the southwest lakes, and a strong wind warning for the upper eastern coastal waters. Light showers tomorrow through the south, 18 in Hobart, 17 for Geeston, 16 at Bothwell, 17 degrees in Launceston, 16 in Devonport and Cressy, showers throughout. 16 in Burnie and Strawn, showers there also with 17 for Curry, and showers on the east coast as well, 17 in St Helens and Swansea, 18 at Orford. Those showers extending statewide on Thursday morning, contracting to the west later on. Areas of morning frost on Friday, fine for most parts, showers for the west, with a mainly fine day on Saturday, possible showers in the north and the west a bit later on. Tomorrow around Australia, 23 degrees and cloudy in Perth, 19 for Adelaide and Melbourne, cloudy conditions there, a sunny 21 in Sydney with 23 in Brisbane and showers and 28 for Cairns. Mostly clear in Hobart at the moment, 14 degrees, 10 and clear in Launceston and 12 degrees in Devonport. That's all for your Tuesday weather, Kim.
Okay, thank you very much, Sam. We'll see you tomorrow, and that wraps up tonight's bulletin. Have a great night. Good night.